Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo. And of course, I'm joined by my weekly Friday night co host, Robin Lundberg. Robin, we are closer and closer to WrestleMania. We only got one more SmackDown till we get there. What'd you think of today's show?
I thought it wasn't as good as last week's show. I would say that, but here's what I think, Denise, and it's honestly like once you get to this close to WrestleMania, you've already kind of put it out there and put it on the table, and now you're just like, all right, let's get to the actual table, let's get to the main course. So there's a few other table setting items you can do. For me, the biggest thing that happened from last week to this week that continues to build is how much of a 180 there's been in the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton anticipation. I now feel like that's like a top 3 match in the entire card, both nights included. And I did not feel, I mean, like I always thought it was going to be a good match, but I didn't feel that way about it. And now I feel that way about it. And that continued tonight. But most of what else transpired, I think, was just continuing to hammer home what we've seen. You didn't have Roman Reigns, which doesn't help. You didn't have CM Punk, obviously, as part of that feud. John Cena wasn't there, and that's a big portion of your 2 nights of main events. But there was some other interesting stuff, and I will note maybe my favorite. It's not a big deal, but my favorite moment in the tag division in a long time. I really like the backstage interaction between the Street Profits and what are Miz and Carmelo Hayes calling themselves nowadays?
It was the Oz hymn. There's the Oz hymn and oh, I forgot the other one. Oh my gosh, I forgot the other one.
Mellow don't miss. Mellow don't
Mellow
miss.
don't miss. There you go. Mellow don't miss. And we are Oz him.
Yeah, there it is. And
Mellow don't miss. There you go.
it was the first time I felt a little juice. Like there might be like some mixing it up on the mic and getting me to care about the interactions between the tag division. And there was kind of like a jab. They're not on the card, and that was the best little tag segment they've had in a while. Not to mention the Naomi vignette hit home again as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with you. I think last week's show, I think you and I both agreed was the strongest that they've had in the 3 hour era of SmackDown. This show is not bad by any means. There was a lot of good stuff on the show, which we're gonna get into, but it just wasn't as good as the last week, which is fine because I kind of had a feeling that last week's show was unique in that it was special in the sense that it was really entertaining. So today, let's go ahead and go in a chronological format of how things went down on the show. So we kind of started off with a big thing. So as we all know, unfortunately, Kevin Owens is out. He's injured, neck injury. And so this left Randy Orton with no opponents. Like there is nobody there for him to face until Sola Sikoa came out and they ended up having this confrontation that led to a fight that led to LA Knight coming out to help out Randy because he was being attacked by Tama Tonga as well as Sola Sikoa. And so this ended up being a tag team match that closed out the show in the main event of the night. But here's the thing though. Is it looking like it's going to be Solo Sikoa versus Randy Orton? Because when we were throwing out predictions about who it might be, I don't think anybody threw out Solo's name to face Randy at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it feels like a SmackDown ass match. So against Randy Orton. But I would say, I mean, if you're making the case the other way, Solo Sikoa has done enough in the year between WrestleMania to this WrestleMania to have earned a spot on the WrestleMania card as far as his importance as a character in that time frame in the in between. So I don't know if it's a rewarding for that. It's just he was the best available person who can feel like a threat that they're not they don't have other plans for, or I had thought I think I suggested Sami Zayn, but we haven't heard from him, so maybe they didn't want to disrupt whatever was going on there. So yeah, Sheamus I think had volunteered online. That was another guy that mentioned, but it's hard for me to be too critical about something like that because it was completely unplanned, right? Like they had built to Kevin Owens and Randy Orton for a long time. Like they built a Kevin. Remember when Kevin Owens pile drive Randy Orton? I feel like it's Thanksgiving or something. That has been a long time. So they really had a lot of planning into that. So for Kevin Owens to unfortunately have the injury he did, I'm not gonna, shake my fist about them not having the perfect backup plan in place for something that they had planned for as long as they did.
Right. I agree with you on that too, because it's one of those situations where you can't be like, oh shit, like this is what we're doing. I know it's not your people, you're not going to be all crazy about the match if that's what they end up making. I know that. Like I said, the crowd will go mild, right? It's not really a big WrestleMania matchup. But again, it's one of those situations where something bad happened. Kevin Owens is out, and now this is where we're left with. I do think, Robin, the scenario that you painted out where they maybe felt like he was the best person to put in this spot, that's more so of what it feels like, which is crazy to think, because if not, like he wasn't even going to be, if this is the match they make, he wasn't even going to be on WrestleMania, which should kind of tell you a whole lot given the year that Solo Sikoa had, to going from having the year that you had to not being on the WrestleMania card. That's pretty, that kind of says a lot. That says more than anything else. And I think that, yes, Solo Sikoa, they had plans for him throughout the year, but now it's just, I think they're seeing that certain things were either not working or they were waiting until they can fully play out Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, because that seems like the next logical step for him. So who knows? This was a blessing in disguise specifically for Solo Sikoa, because this may be his WrestleMania match right here. And like Randy mentioned, Robin, this is his 20th WrestleMania match. That's kind of a big deal, okay? He's top 3 when it comes to the most WrestleMania matches. It's Undertaker at 27, Triple H at 23, and then Randy right now at 19, about to hit 20th. In a couple of years, if he keeps going, he's going to pass Triple H, and if he keeps going even more, he may surpass The Undertaker.
27 is a wild amount of WrestleManias.
It could happen though, depending on how long Randy decides to stay active for. It
Yeah,
can
well,
happen.
he does have the injury history, which makes it a little bit more difficult. How old is Randy Orton? Uh,
Is he in his 40s?
45. Okay. So, yeah, I mean it's doable. I certainly wouldn't bet on it. I would handicap against it, but it is doable.
That's what I'm saying. I think he'll definitely beat Triple H's record though. He's only a couple of years away from that happening.
Yeah,
So I
if
think it can. Yeah.
yeah, as long as he stays healthy, I think that's an easy one. Because he's got this year. You would think, yeah, there's no signs of him hanging it up or retiring abruptly really quickly. I actually think I'm getting the hints from recent times, and I know like going against Solo isn't that they have some stuff planned for Randy Orton after WrestleMania. I think he came back. It's funny because all of the stuff that's happened around him has been coinciding with other big things. The night he came back was the night CM Punk came back, right? And there was another one too. He had a moment. I forget what else happened the same night he had a big moment. But I do think he's sort of just kind of been floating along and riding that legend wave for the legend killer. And you see him getting the ovations overseas and all that. But I do believe that whatever the big plan for him is going to happen shortly after WrestleMania, and we might see him getting involved in like the main event scene.
Yeah, I think so too. Because like even Drew McIntyre called it out. He basically said, because Randy, oh yeah, that's right. Remember when Randy went and told Cody like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? I forgot the time when it happened, but whatever. It's all a big blur to me now. When Randy confronted Cody and he said, "Hey, I respect you. I think you're amazing," and he put him over and he said, "I just want to let you know that after you retain from defending your title against John Cena, I'm going to come for that championship." And he said, "I have enough respect for you, Cody, to let you know that." So I think it's already been indicated that Randy will be either going against Cody or going after that championship. Who knows? Maybe John Cena ends up defending it against Randy Orton. If John Cena wins, who knows what's going to happen? But I do agree with you, Robin, in the sense that it does seem like that is going to be the next step for Randy. And especially like what we said with there hasn't really been that much that gone on. Randy was gone for a long long time when he got pile driven. He was out forever. And so since he came back, there's only been a couple of big memories for him, big moments, nothing too crazy. So I think we need to definitely get back to that. We do have Kevin Zwicker here. Let's get into some super chats. He says, not gonna lie, SmackDown was kind of mid. Look, I'm just glad that this 3-hour show flew by. That's all I can ask for these days. I really, really cannot complain when the 3-hour shows fly by. Thank you, Kevin. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says the Young Bucks just challenged the Bullet Club War Dogs for New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence May 9th in Ontario, California. Hey, good to know, Sheldon. Thank you so much for keeping us posted. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says, hey, Denise and Robin, just got home from the Universal Studios Epic Universe Pack in Orlando, Florida. It was so much fun. Robin, take your kids to Florida. Yo, that sounds fun.
Yeah, they've been there. So I've been there like once, but like there's a lot of that goes on with those trips.
There's a lot of kids. When I landed in the Orlando airport, oh my God, there were so many kids because they're all going to Disneyland and things like that. And there's Disneyland promotion everywhere and families with the Mickey ears. It's Disney World. Sorry.
Disney World. Yeah, Disneyland is the Cali.
Because I'm in Anaheim.
Right?
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm by Anaheim. So I'm so used to saying Disneyland instead of Disney World.
We just went to Florida and then we left. That's where we went from the Disney cruise. We went on the Disney cruise from Florida. We weren't at Disney World, but I did take them on a Disney cruise in February, so they should be good.
Yeah. I was going to say, they should be after that. We got Jacob Tatum who says, more excited for night 1 than night 2 Mania. I think for me, it depends once I see like the entire card laid out in terms of which matches are going to be where. Or
night
at least
1. Night 1.
When
they showed it on the broadcast, I like night 2 has like 2 banger ass matches. It's got obviously Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and then it has the women's triple threat with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. But the depth of night 1, you got the Jey Uso Gunther match, which I'm interested to see how they do that on night 1. You've got Charlotte and Tiffany.
Oh, I'm seeing that right now. I missed the graphic when they showed it on
Yeah, they did a whole
today?
unveiling on the with the broadcast and everything. They had
I'm seeing it right now.
yeah,
How did I miss that?
Naomi and Jade Cargill is night 1. Charlotte.
Oh, that's what they were doing. I thought they were just running down the card.
Oh yeah. No, they were.
I didn't know they were saying like night 1 and night 2. I'm like, they're going through the card. I know the card.
No. A lot of the best matches to me are on.
All right. Well, let me pull it up right here because I got it right here. All right. So night 1, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. Gunther, Jey Uso, Jade Cargill, Naomi, the War Raiders versus the New Day, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Night 2, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, AJ Styles, Logan Paul, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra, Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Oh yeah. Night 1 is looking a little bit stronger just in terms of all of the matches, whereas night 2 it's just a couple of there's 4 matches that I'm really looking forward to on night 2.
Yeah, the depth to me of night 1, because I can all of a sudden Charlotte and Naomi to me feels like it's on the level of the triple threat women's match, so that can be a wash. And then I'm honestly looking forward to the main event in the triple threat with the guys more than Cody and Cena's had good build. Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to that. But if I could only watch one, I would pick Roman, Seth, and Punk. So beyond that, I'm really interested in Naomi and Jade Cargill and how that plays out. I'm really interested in how Jey Uso and Gunther, how that match itself plays out. I'm kind of intrigued by LA Knight and Jacob Fatu to see the direction they go with Jacob Fatu. And then, of course, the match that I'm looking forward to the most both nights is the War Raiders against New Day.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, really? Out of all the matches?
I was like, when you're talking about
I was not expecting that.
No, when I saw that, I was like, wait, that's a match that's happening?
Well, I know, me too. I was thinking the same thing. And then right when I read it, I remembered like covering it on Raw. And it was one of those things where I forgot. And mind you, I talk about this every freaking day. I just talked about it this Monday and I forgot. So yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. I fell for that, Robin. Good job. Good job. We got Sucho here who says, really nice to see Roxanne on the main roster again, although I would have loved to see her on WrestleMania card. Also, happy WrestleMania week. Thank you so much, Sucho. So like was so excited when Roxanne popped up backstage and she was about to go into Nick Aldis's office. And then she's confronted by Tiffany Stratton and they share some words. And Roxanne is very, very confident. She stands her ground. And of course, they ended up making a match for today, Roxanne versus Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffany Stratton got the win, but she needed to get the win, obviously, heading into a massive match into WrestleMania. Huge. But I thought Roxanne looked phenomenal in this matchup. They had a fun little matchup. I was so happy, Robin, that they did this here tonight. And here's the thing. I had been forgot every show, I think at this point, Raw, NXT, and now SmackDown, I have said, why the hell isn't Roxanne versus Bayley happening at WrestleMania? That was so freaking easy to do. And they just didn't do it.
Instead, Bayley's in a random tag team and they get a tag team title match.
Which I'm thrilled that we're going to see Bayley and Lyra. I thought that was the best option, by the way. They won the gauntlet here tonight. Very entertaining gauntlet, Robin. It went by really fast. I thought it took up a bunch of time in terms of a lot of time went by, but it didn't feel like it while I was watching it. So I did like that. And I'm happy that Bayley's going to be on there with Lyra versus Liv and Raquel. But come on. They were just wrestling each other. They're not a tag team. They're not a tag team.
Well, it just goes to show you that there's not that much of a tag team division in that regard, because all of the tag teams have been like singles wrestlers who became tag teams, all of a sudden.
I agree. I 100% agree. And since we're on the topic of the gauntlet, I mean, the one thing that I also kind of found a little strange too was when they had Maxine and Natalia in there. Did you notice that they didn't even get Natalia a chance to even get in there? And then Maxine just lost just like that. That was rough. So rough.
Maybe you should have let it be. They didn't need it rubbed in.
They literally, I felt so bad. I'm thinking, what the hell, man? What the hell? It was wild. Anyways, that's what we got in that gauntlet. Still enjoyable though. And now they have a WrestleMania match. Thank you so much to Sucho. We got Sheldon Jackson who says also Mercedes versus Mina versus AZM. Sorry, I'm not really familiar with her. Three-way dance for the strong women's title at Resurgence, May 9th in your neck of the woods, Denise, in Ontario. I love how you're trying to get me to Ontario. Ontario is still a drive from here. But I might go. I might be honest. I might go.
Wait, is it
it's
close?
a drive, but so Ontario is about 35, 40 miles away from here.
That's it?
Yeah, but Robin, California traffic, 35, 40 miles.
This is not me judging whether you go or not. I just had no idea that.
To Ontario, yeah, it's a little bit of a drive traffic-wise. During traffic hour, nah, forget it.
You're only 40 miles from Canada?
What? Not way more than 40 miles from Canada.
So we're talking about California.
Yes, Ontario. Wait, you didn't know there was Ontario, California?
When I see Ontario, I'm thinking Canada. That sounds like that can't be right.
Is that why you were so surprised when I said 40 miles?
Yeah. What are you, a sorceress?
You're like, wow, you could be going to Ontario. Unlike Luis here says only your VPN is Ontario. That is so funny. Yeah, so there's Ontario, California. You learned something new today, Robin. Ontario, California is the thing, and it's about 35 to 40 miles from where I live. So, yeah. And there's an airport there too. You can fly into Ontario Airport.
So you can go to Ontario, Canada from Ontario, California.
I probably can. Yes, I probably can. Thank you, Sheldon. We got Lawrence Ross here who says, welcome in. And I feel that Robin, I think Solo definitely put in WrestleMania work this year to get a match. Yeah, this was something Lawrence brought up for sure. So you guys definitely have that in common for putting over Solo Sikoa. All right, we got Megan's an AEW sicko who says, by the way, thank you, Lawrence. We got Megan here who says, hey, Denise and Robin, only saw the main event, wanted to say hi. Prestige Wrestling tomorrow, doing the X-Pac meet and greet. Then seeing Tomohiro Ishii, Zack Sabre Jr. and the Rascals versus Sinner and Saint and TNA in Portland. Okay, first of all, I am so happy that you're going to meet X-Pac. He is the sweetest human out there. Love X-Pac. So you're going to have the best time meeting him. And then it sounds like you're going to have a good time in TNA in Portland. Usually TNA puts on really fun live events. So I have no doubt that you're going to have a good time. Thank you so much, Megan. Hope you have a great weekend. We got John Deller here, who's been a member for 17 months now, says, happy they put Tiffany over Roxanne. Good showing. Oh, they had to. There was no way Tiffany was losing that. Like, she's going into a WrestleMania match against Charlotte.
Yeah, but the way that Charlotte came out and beat her down off of last week, I think sold it really well. Like I really, it was a good follow up to last week. They didn't, and they sort of alluded to it, and that it got personal in the viral clip, but that's exactly the response that one would have.
And then also have you seen Charlotte's like tweets on Twitter and stuff?
I don't know if I've seen them all.
Yeah, she's posted a few. Like she did one where she kind of set it up almost like she was going to address the situation, but then she like tricks everybody and then she says I should have never said Chicago fans were smart. I forgot the wording for it, but if you read the tweet you'll like it. And then and she's been like she was fighting with a fan. Yeah, there's been her Twitter page has her Twitter page is definitely worth checking out if you haven't. Thank you, John. We got JM here. Thank you so much, JM. He says, please, Triple H do not book Solo versus Randy. There's so many bigger and better names like Sheamus and Sammy. I mean, bro, if we got Sheamus and Randy, that would be a nice, hard-hitting matchup. Again, I'm telling you, I had no idea when we were speculating last week. I did not even consider Solo Sikoa. So, I mean, it's Randy Orton. Randy Orton can have a great match with just about anybody. So there's at least, if you're looking for a bright side, that can be it right there. But yeah, that's one that for sure, it just doesn't scream WrestleMania. So we'll see what they end up doing. Again, this is not for sure. This is just what's been alluded to based off of the storytelling that we're seeing, at least from this week. 1 week storytelling on this one.
The one little interesting bit is the not that I think it's going to be the WrestleMania match, but Randy kind of teasing Nick Aldis as what do you say, suit up? Why don't you suit up? That kind of thing.
That's what I had originally thought they were going to do, Robin, but then I thought, oh, I guess they're not.
But he hinted at it perhaps coming. Like, what's the point of him saying that if it might not be something that occurs in the future?
I don't know, man. I mean, he's a good wrestler. We know this. I was even saying, like, one of the things that he mentioned was how long it took him to get to WWE. And I'm like, yeah, it took him forever. And I was surprised that they didn't take him any sooner because when he was Brutus Magnus over on TNA, like, dude was everything that you could think WWE would want.
Yeah, and he does a great job in his current role. Like, I feel like he's excellent at it, to be honest. But what's the point of teasing it and alluding to it if there's not perhaps a plan, and if he's capable? That makes a lot of sense for an advanced storyline at some point down the line. And I don't know what his future prospects are or what his goals are, but one would think. If you're a professional wrestler, you might want to be involved in a WWE ring.
I was surprised when they hired him and put him as a GM. That was not what I was expecting. And then here's another thing. They also had a Mickey James mention where Randy said, like, oh, Mickey James is going to have a problem if you don't put, a match together for me. So, I mean, come on. He mentions his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So please, I do hope that's our saving grace and we end up seeing Nick Aldis versus Randy. But again, who knows what they do. Thank you, JM. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says Randy Orton can break Ric Flair or John Cena's record for world champion. And thank you for the free gifted subscription, Denise. Oh, that was probably, let me see if whoever sent a gifted subscription, that's probably who sent it to you. So yeah, I'm so happy you got one, Anthony. We got Jacob Tatum here who says, what are your top best, worst finishers, past, present? Plus, do you think WWE made a mistake by not sending Rey Fenix to Raw to pair with Brett Penta? I don't think they made a mistake on that. And my least favorite finisher was Karrion Kross's submission where he does this. I hate that finisher.
I would say the Bushwhackers finisher.
Oh, yeah?
Just how he has him in a headlock and like runs into the other dude. They called it the battering ram or something like that. I would say, anything. When like it's not a finish, but 5-knuckle shuffle, any of the people's elbow, like as a finisher, those never, sold me as they're fun for the theatrics, but I don't like it when they get turned into like a finisher. Now, of course, for those guys, it's the rock bottom and whatnot. But yeah, and best finishers, Sweet Chin Music for the longest time, but now the super kick is so done. I'd put the pedigree up there. What else is up there?
God, there's
Razor's
so
Edge.
many. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh man, we got Anthony Giuliano here who says, I can't wait to see Jade Cargill's special entrance. Yeah, she always goes all out. She always looks like a star. Thank you, Anthony. We got Toby here who says, Roman is going to stack them at Mania. There are levels to this.
Let's go.
Thank you, Toby. We got Steven Marchulli who says, bold prediction, Roxanne will be Intercontinental Champion on Raw after Mania. Hey, yo, I'm down for that. If she came out and just challenged Lyra and they just did a match right then and there, hey, I don't hate it. I do not hate it. Thank you, Steven. We got Jacob Tatum who says, would you rather read books for 2 hours? AW Collision, WWE Evolve, Denise, and who lose their title first, Chelsea Green or Lyra? I have a feeling it may be Lyra. No, maybe Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea. And I rather read books for 2 hours. I love to read. I'm a big reading fan. I haven't had a chance. Oh, yay. Did you get shout out to Mark Ramondi, guys? I love Mark Ramondi. And he has a brand new book. Please put it up closer, Robin, so people can see it. Go support Mark Ramondi, guys. Pick up the book about the NWO. It's on sale right now. I mean, being sold right now at bookstores near you as well as Amazon. Please support Mark Ramondi. Really good guy right there. Really good guy.
I think it's on sale according to this June 24th.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
you could probably pre-order it right now.
Yeah, you can pre-order.
I did not have a planned plug. It just was books.
I love it.
It's the
Well,
theme.
either way, search it up and you'll either pre-order or you will purchase. Thank you so much, Jacob Tatum. And all right, with that being said, let's keep it going here on where we were at with the SmackDown card. Let's see, what haven't we talked about yet? We just covered the gauntlet already. And hold on one second. Oh, yeah. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre just go at it, man. They were supposed to have a face-to-face, but Drew McIntyre attacks Damian Priest from behind, and they just freaking fight. Drew McIntyre rips off the eye patch that he wore because he had gotten glass in his eye and ends up taking out Damian Priest at the end, rips his necklace off, hits him with the future shock DDT onto the actual steel steps, and then takes his necklace off and then takes off. But it was a pretty nice beatdown.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
brawl.
why it's a Sin City street fight now, right?
Yes, good. See, I'm liking how this story has played out the last couple of weeks.
The eye patch thing was interesting, and then into the I mean it's and you need a couple of matches that are a little different from the rest. It makes sense for that to be street fight. Sin City, I would imagine, other than being nice alliteration, is just a play to where they're located. I don't know if there's different rules to a Sin City street fight versus your run of the
They
mill
bring
street
out a
fight.
showgirl.
Yeah, well,
Showgirl gets used as a weapon.
that would be objectifying women, literally.
I mean, they have the big giant like headpieces. So imagine being hit with a headbutt from a Las Vegas showgirl. They should get you with all the feathers in your face. That sounds painful. Or like the spiky heel. Maybe she does the spinning heel kick with the heel.
The stiletto sweet chin music. Yeah.
Stiletto sweet chin music. You see what I'm saying? There's a vision. There's a vision that I have. It can happen. I don't know, roulette reel, maybe throw some dice in someone's face, throw some cards, paper cut.
Yeah.
You can have fun with it.
Hit me. Like 21 blackjack.
See, like, I think they can have some good time with this. We got Steve Fight here. Thank you so much for the super chat, Steve. He says, hey guys, I think Naomi and Jade's promo were awesome tonight. Makes me look forward to their match. Love you guys as well. Thank you so much, Steve. Very kind of you. And yes, we had 2 vignettes play. One with Naomi. What does she have in her hair? I thought they were like razors, but what are they?
I'm not sure exactly, but she's got that like chaotic energy going on, which I'm really digging for her. She seems a little like off her rocker and unhinged, and I think it's really working for her. It's the most I've ever felt her as a presence on screen, so I'm really happy for her.
She nailed it, man. Like what you said, that chaotic energy, that's what we're seeing. And she had all of those things in her hair that looked like razors. I don't really know what they were, to be honest, but it made her look like crazy. It made her look crazy. And she just basically tells Jade, like, proceed with caution. And then caution. Jade does her portion of the promo, and she just basically tells her, hey, a storm is coming. It was good. It was straight to the point, and both of them came off like real threats.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested in that match for a couple of reasons. One, what's the direction with Naomi after this happened, because she's become such an interesting character now. And then two, Jade hasn't really had many showcase event match like where she's one on one, mano a mano. So it's one of those tests for her in a sense too, to see where she's at.
Yep, it's gonna be a big one for sure. Thank you so much, Steve Fight. All right, let's see what else we got. We got Ray Phoenix defeating Umberto in this matchup here. They got this is awesome chance. I don't remember the last time a crowd chanted "This is awesome" for an Umberto match. So I was very pleased at that. But no, they did a good job here. I mean, it was the slower paced match, but it was flashy enough to the point where I think the people really did enjoy what they saw here. I didn't really know how I was going to feel about this matchup, and I ended up enjoying myself, man. I thought Ray Phoenix looked really good.
It was
I mean,
sort of
I'm not
similar to
surprised
last.
by that.
It was sort of similar to last week, right? Like
I felt like Ray got to show more of his move set in this match than he did in the last one.
yeah, probably so. But I mean, in sort of it was a similar vein. An opponent who hasn't exactly been like pushed, to prominence, but got a little bit more of a showcase themselves in order to allow Ray Phoenix to show us his moveset and all that. Though CM Punk doesn't like moveset, does he? That's his array of moves.
Yes, there you go. All right, let me see where we're at here. Oh, and people are saying that they were safety razors. Maybe, I don't know, but it looked really cool. So, either way, I love the thought that she put into. I like the fact that she's been coming out with the big curls, the big volumes in her hair. And when she didn't, she at least had something to distract, just so that it doesn't look like the old Naomi, the glow, the happy glow Naomi. So the fact that she's put so much thought into that is very cool. We did have a video that aired about CM Punk and Paul Heyman's relationship and basically chronicling their history. I really enjoyed this. I just kind of felt like it was a nice recap and just kind of cool because I think that there's a lot of new wrestling fans and we can't forget that. And you can't just assume that people are going to know this history. And I know that they mention it a lot, but I think doing this nice recap video, dang, I was in my feels, Robin, when I was watching it. I just thought, damn, I'm in my feels right now seeing this set up. And I'm gonna, spoiler alert, tomorrow's video that I'm dropping, I'm really excited about. It's all about CM Punk. I won't spoil it any further, but it was a lot of this stuff was very fresh in my memory because of I had just edited that video that's coming out tomorrow. And so I kind of just felt with the video that I did, plus then seeing this video, I feel more emotional now heading into this WrestleMania main event for CM Punk than I did when it was announced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but I think you're spot on. I think for a myriad of reasons, there are probably a lot of people who aren't that familiar with that era. Either they're younger fans who just came in right now, or they're fans who were like, fans through the Attitude Era and then maybe escaped for a while before they came back. There's just various reasons why somebody might have missed that sweet spot for where that relationship formed. And Punk, was absent for a long period of time too. So you had to actually be in it during that window to really get it too. So I think it was a smart move because if you were familiar with it, it doesn't hurt you. You get in your feels, you feel the nostalgia, and if you weren't, you're caught up. And yeah, I think it was a wise move in order to feature the wise man.
Yeah, man. All right, we got Sin City Saint here says, question for both of you, favorite wrestler of all time? Go. Mine's is HBK, says Sin City Saint. See, I battle with this one and I have internal conflict in the sense that my all-time favorite wrestler is currently not in the best storyline.
Mhm.
So I always feel like, ah, damn. Like my favorite all-time wrestler is Chris Jericho. Now everyone's thinking the learning tree right now. Please know that Chris Jericho has had an extraordinary career, that the learning tree is just not my favorite thing,
It
but
doesn't matter what your name is. That's fine.
but Jericho has had an incredible career, guys. He's done far more than just the learning tree, please.
I just remember that being Jericho. That was Jericho's entrance to WWE. If you remember the whole countdown, they were building it
Most
up forever.
iconic, best WWE debut ever.
Yeah. HBK was my favorite wrestler. I was in agreement with Sin City Saint, but I think at this point in time, I have to say Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, see mine for me it's like, I was a little Jerichoholic for years and years and years and years. So I can't and then I thought CM Punk was going to replace Chris Jericho and at sometimes he did. And then I thought Kurt Angle would definitely and I think Kurt Angle might. I think in the next couple of years, I think I might change my mind. So we'll see. But anyways, I was changing my answer. Sin City State, thank you so much for the question and for the super chat. All right, we also got Zelina Vega defeating Chelsea Green. This was kind of interesting. This was a 1 minute match with Chelsea Green losing via count out. This was non-title, so this is basically this was done to justify Zelina Vega getting a actual title match. So I think that's what they're gonna eventually do, and that was them doing that. I wonder if they're gonna add it to WrestleMania. Chelsea Green is one of those names that you're kind of surprised isn't on the WrestleMania card. I was also surprised that neither, as of right now, as of this video, neither the Intercontinental Women's Championship nor the U.S. Women's Championship is being defended at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not that many spots when you really think, even for 2 nights, there's not that many. There's a lot of championships. So it's when you have two brands, and there's a respective, like an equal championship in each one. It winds up being a lot of championships. So some of them, I mean, look, if you think about it this way, and they are on the card, but Jey Uso and Gunther is so far from even being mentioned in the main event, right? And Jey Uso won the freaking Royal Rumble. So it goes to show you, it's a tough card to crack, and it's a tough one to get at the top of, especially.
Yeah, I feel so bad because every time people ask me what WrestleMania match you're looking forward to, I always forget that Gunther and Jey Uso is happening, and I'm like, oh shit, Jey Uso and Gunther. I always forget. Like it's just not the ones that I think of like right off the bat because I'm so focused on other matchups there. So we'll see what they end up doing in regards to that. We had a Cody Rhodes segment. Honestly, this one's pretty straightforward. This was, Cody out there, babyface promo. He basically just talks about my favorite part was when everybody was doing the "Let's go Cena sucks" chants. Immediately afterwards, he pointed out how John Cena didn't want to come to Seattle, and
Yeah.
I thought great because there's people out there rooting for John Cena, and he didn't even want to come to your city. So I thought it was funny that Cody Rhodes pointed that out. But he basically just went out there and talked about relating to the fans and holding that championship for the people. It was a nice, strong, simple, straightforward babyface promo. And there's only so much you can do when John Cena isn't there with him to have those kinds of interactions that obviously the fans want to see.
Yeah, and their interactions have been quite strong. But in this case, yeah, I'm with you. It was well done by Cody Rhodes, but didn't particularly like stick out to me as too much different than what he's done in the past.
Right, exactly. All right, let me see what else we have to get into. We have a lot of backstage like tag team segments. Motor City Machine Guns back there with Mello and Miz, which was the one that you were talking about. And I do agree with you in the sense that I wasn't really feeling Carmelo and the Miz as a team, but it's not so bad. They're coming up with some fun little catchphrases. It's doing its job. Did I miss anything? Man, I feel like there was something else, but it seems like I pretty much covered everything. We talked about the gauntlet. We broke that all down. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention after the Roxanne Tiffany Stratton match, Charlotte did come out and attack Tiffany Stratton. They had also dropped a video earlier in the day where she attacked her in the parking lot too. So I love that they're, feeding off of the real life situation by just doing the brawls, continuing it, and trying to really, really heat it up more. And I agree with you. This is now a top match based off of what we saw last week and all of the news that has really just followed throughout the entire week.
Yeah, I mean, well, last week was a bit of a moment, and whether it was planned, unplanned, or not, it elevated that match. So it was a good thing that it happened for both of them.
The last thing I need to talk about, thank you so much to the chat. And it was after the main event, which was LA Knight and Randy Orton defeating Tamatanga and Solo Sikoa. But it was Jacob Fatu, who a lot of us thought he wasn't even there tonight, but he came out and he attacked LA Knight, who is obviously his WrestleMania opponent. And he went crazy, Robin. He is just hitting moonsaults, moonsaults, moonsaults. He's licking the belt. I mean, this was intense, man. How'd you feel seeing Jacob?
Yeah, I'm just curious what they're gonna do with that because I mean it seems to me this is Jacob Fatu getting a title, and is it gonna be a squash? That would be might be the route I go. Is I mean it could be disrespectful to LA Knight given what he's done and the yeah and all that, but I'm kind of feeling that idea.
Look at all I want to see Jacob Fatu win the US title. I don't care how he does it. That's all I want. And hey, look, if it does happen to be a squash, so be it. It's a long ass WrestleMania night, and Jacob Fatu has been built up to be a monster.
And
So
that's
I wouldn't hate it.
yeah, I mean to me it makes a lot of sense. Other than what it would do for LA Knight, but as far as where Jacob Fatu is right now, I mean, they had him nearly kill Braun Strowman, and now, you know, eh, eh, it could be a regular match and him win it, but the way they've sold him, it's tough to. I like how is he vulnerable? Is LA Knight the guy that makes it look like he's going to be teetering and on the rocks? Maybe, but yeah, I think Jacob Fatu's U.S. champion one way or another coming out of WrestleMania.
I feel you. All right, we got one more super chat here. This is from Sin City Saint here, who says Miss makes Mello relevant and Mello is making Miss relevant. It's a good pairing. They both deserve screen time. Hey, I scratch my back. You scratch. No, I scratch your back. You scratch my back. That's kind of what we're seeing here. And you're right. I'm so glad you pointed this out, by the way, because it is true. Carmelo has unfortunately been getting a lot of critiques and criticism from the fans. He does magnificently in the ring. I've been loving him coming out and doing the walk and talk promos, but there still has been a little bit of a disconnection with him and the audience. So I think that this pairing with Miz might actually work. And mind you, I was not interested in the beginning. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm still a little bit on the fence though. I'm not totally sold yet, but we'll see. And then I mean, the Miz has kind of just been the Miz, right? And he comes in and out of storylines, and sometimes he's a big focal point. Sometimes he's not. That's just what we see with the Miz.
But I'm with Sin City Sane here. We talked about Carmelo Hayes. Remember when he was drafted? What was he? The second overall, whatever it was. It was really high in the
First, first
first
round
overall
pick.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's drafted way at the top of the draft, which from NXT. Okay, star in the making, and it didn't really work. It goes against Cody Rhodes, I think, in his first match. It didn't really work out that way, and he never quite found it. And I think I said to you on one of these shows, he just needs to figure out what that is. Like he's got time. The losses aren't going to hurt him. They clearly, think highly of him. And he just got there in the grand scheme of things. It hasn't been that long. Something has to be that spark. I wouldn't have predicted that it was the Miz, but I really enjoyed that Street Profit Miz Carmelo Hayes segment. It's the most I've cared about the tag division since really they've been doing it in this current incarnation. And it's probably the most I've cared about Carmelo Hayes because I had the same thought he had in the chat where when I'm watching it in my brain, I went, oh, is this it? Is this the thing that's going to help Carmelo Hayes find his way, find his voice, and maybe just find his confidence in how he delivers and how he shapes his character going forward?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm rooting for him, man. I'm such a big Carmelo Hayes fan, and dude can go in the ring. So I'm excited to see what he does. But, ladies and gents, that is our SmackDown review for this week. Oh my gosh, of course, we're heading into WrestleMania weekend, everybody. I'm still dropping daily videos. I drop 2 Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow's video, spoiler alert, is about CM Punk. It's a good one, so make sure you check it out. And then Sunday, I will do no spoiler, but that's the video I'm most excited for people to see because it was so freaking fun. So please, when that video comes out on Sunday, go watch it, share your thoughts with me on it, and I cannot wait to see what you guys think about it. And that's pretty much it for me. But Robin, please tell the people where they can support you and check out your work.
Yeah, go over Robin Lundberg show on YouTube. Follow me on X, and I think I'm doing Busted Open next Friday, and oh, you and I are doing it together.
You and I are doing the
Okay,
show tomorrow. I mean, it's not Friday, next
Friday.
Friday.
Okay, and then I
Yeah.
think I'm also doing post WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 on
Hell yeah,
Busted
get
Open
it,
After
get it.
Dark. So, big Busted Open weekend for me next weekend, and it's the biggest weekend in wrestling. So, good timing for it.
I was gonna say perfect freaking time. Alrighty, guys, that's it for us here today. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Yeet.